Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I start my debate, let me introduce myself. My name is Maura Arif, leader of the government team today from SMA Insan Cendekia Al-Kausar. Today's motion is this House would criminalize individuals and organizations that do not recycle. 5 points of mechanism before I start my debate. The first one, individuals would be obligated to recycle household waste minimum twice each month. Organizations, especially factories, offices, and etc., should recycle as much as they can, and they should also dispose their waste in a proper place. The EPA lists 3 main types of waste disposal methods: incineration, land disposal, and underground injection, as so they don't damage the environment around them. The third point of mechanism is individuals are only criminalized if they throw away waste that could actually be recycled up to 2 kilograms a month. They will first receive a warning, and if they don't follow, the next month they will have to serve. Punishments for individuals are in the form of community service, not serving time in prison, as community service is found to be more effective, especially since this isn't like a heavy crime. If organizations are not found recycling or not disposing their waste correctly, first they'll receive a warning and be given time around 2 weeks to change the way they handle their waste, and if they don't change, they will receive a fine for every kilogram of waste. So, let me start. Recycling is the process of collecting and processing materials that would otherwise be thrown away as trash and turning them into new products. Things that you usually recycle are paper, including newspapers, magazines, mixed paper, etc. There's this type of recycled paper that you can find in stores: cardboard, glass bottles and jars, rigid plastic products, metal containers including tin, aluminum, and steel cans. Food waste, if for example, the city has an organics collection program. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, waste disposal has become a huge problem in many parts of the world. Now, one question: how can recycling help this huge problem? Well, recycling is critical to reducing the amount of waste going into landfills. So, recycling, ladies and gentlemen, also prevents the emissions of many greenhouse gases and water. In most cases, recycling uses less energy, which translates into fewer fossil fuels burned and reduced emissions of greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change. Recycling of metals can be particularly powerful to a powerful way to save energy for the earth. Now, what about the condition of our Mother Earth? Our Mother Earth is currently facing a lot of environmental problems and concerns. Problems such as global warming, acid rain, air pollution, urban sprawl, waste disposal, ozone layer depletion, water pollution, climate change, and many more affect every human, animal, and nation on this planet. Currently, scientists says that the Earth has at least 1.5 billion years left to support life, and the researchers report this month in geophysical research letters, if humans last that long, Earth would be generally highly uncomfortable for them, but livable in some areas just below the polar regions. So severe climate change would happen. There would be long terms of dryness and long terms of rainpour. There would be severe snowstorms in certain areas, but also severe heat in other certain areas. Okay, now moving on to my first argument, which is minimizing the impact of not recycling. So from the motion, this House would criminalize individuals and organizations that do not recycle. Here are some things that if this rule is applied, these things would be decreased. So if we enhance recycling in the society, it will decrease the pollution rates. The first consequence from not recycling would be pollution. There are many different kinds of pollution. For example, the styrofoam, which carries water, or coffee pollutes up the ground by leaking nasty chemicals into the soil. If enough of these chemicals build up, it can cause cancer. The air can also get polluted each time you drive your car. Plastic particles from water bottles and chemicals also pollute our water, and that is why we should always recycle. Next, there is also this concern of the overflow of landfills and if we recycle, these chances would be minimized. So landfills are designed to deal with waste. However, if we threw everything away when it could be recycled, the landfill would fill up and they would be unable to cope with this large load. It will also create unpleasant smells and end up being toxic from all the harmful chemicals which arise from the styrofoam, batteries, microwaves, cleaning supplies, and other household products, making little recycling efforts help substantially in keeping landfill sites under control. Next, there's also destruction of natural habitats. So when we don't recycle, reuse, reduce too, we destroy natural habitats such as forests, rivers because of a waste buildup, and the area becomes unsafe for living beings as it will release harmful toxins to the environment. As it is, our Earth cannot cope with the current rate of destruction, and eventually, by failing to reuse what we already have, we'll end up in a very, very sticky situation of running out of resources. My second argument is that this would encourage individuals and organizations. It will become a motivation for them to keep recycling, because if not, they are fined, and if they don't, also they will have to serve community service. So whether they like it or not, they would have to be pushed to follow this rule and also follow the recycling system. So it will cause them to be more aware of the environment and eventually be greener in every movement they make. Public awareness is important to increase enthusiasm and support, stimulate self-mobilization and action, and mobilize local knowledge and resources. It educates people about topics which are new to them and encourage them to participate in bringing change. In which case, if we apply this motion, they would be motivated to recycle and also have force, but eventually it will also educate others who didn't know about this in the first place, and eventually it will make the world a better place for the future generation. My name is Maura Arif. Thank you for listening to my debate today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.